Hello there, how's it going? This is going to be a build video with a difference because I'm not going to show you any building because you've seen it a million times. It's the same process pretty much. Every helmet, you 3D print it, you smooth it somehow, and then you paint it. So, I mean, that's it. However, I do want to show you this helmet because I'm extremely proud of it, and I honestly think it's the best helmet I've made. Bold statement, and I know I say that every time, but this time I mean it, seriously. And, okay, so we're getting a lot of glare from the sun, which shows actually how shiny it is, which is exactly what I wanted, by the way. So let me just try and, yeah, just reduce that a bit. There you go. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay, that's not too dark for you, is it? I don't know. So, obviously, it's Commander Cody. And in all honesty, I absolutely flipping hate making this helmet. The reason I hate making it is not because I hate the character or anything like that. It's because it's ostentatious, man. Come on. You know, you got your standard clone, and then, you know, it's not just a couple of extra accessories. It's everything about it is different. He's not just a standard clone. He's got this stupid indentation here. Then he's got a sun visor, right? Fair enough. Then he's got these heavy headpieces. Cool. Like, I like the heavy gunner helmet. That's just a visor and this, but we're already ahead with this bit. And then he's got a flipping, as well as that, he's got this little headband for no reason whatsoever. No one else has it. And he's got a camera. And then he's got not just one, but two extra antennas. It's like, mate, what more do you want on your flipping helmet? Whoever designed this helmet, I mean, for Star Wars, was having a flipping laugh. Do you know what I mean? Because I've got to make all those things rather than just a nice simple clone, you know? I don't mind like a visor here and there, but I think it's ostentatious, mate. I think I've made 3 before this, and I just like took it off my shop because I didn't want to make it ever again. And then my friend Christy over in Ireland asked me to make it, and it was for a very like special reason. I was like, go on then, I'll do it for you. And I do apologize if I kind of stumble with my words. I'm horrendously hungover, okay? I'm sorry. I go to an open mic night every fortnight in my town. It's awesome, and it's very drunk, okay? Just very drunk. Drinking and singing and music and, you know, guitars is class, but mate, yeah. Back to the video. So I'd done everything, right? Filled it, like printed it, built it, prepped it with a soldering iron, all that. Do you want me to talk through the build process and not show it? I don't know. I think I should just talk about the paint. So basically, I'd got the primer on and the white, and before I'd even done all the accessories and stuff, I got in touch with Christy and went, although, you know, it may mean nothing to you, but I want to try something new. Technically, it's not new because I tried this, what I'm about to say, on the ATAT pilot helmet for the first time ever, right? Because that helmet is a pristine, white, glossy helmet, isn't it? But because I couldn't get it absolutely pin perfect, I wanted to weather it to basically hide my mistakes. But also, I did, like, I genuinely wanted to see a bit of weathering on it, but keep that nice glossiness that is Star Wars to me. And so the general rule of thumb is, if you're going to do a clean helmet, like a shiny clone, you use gloss lacquer, right? Clear gloss lacquer. And if you're going to do a weathered helmet, you use matte lacquer. So it's a matte finish, right? I have an example just here. So this is the Phase 1 Obi-Wan helmet I designed and made, and this is weathered. So you can see it does have a tiny bit of gloss on it, but nowhere near that one. In fact, I can't remember because I built this and then I weathered it much later, so I don't know. No, that is a matte finish. It's definitely not gloss. You can see it's matte, right? But there's a slight sheen to it, and that's kind of what you do, because the matte finish looks worn. You know, you've got this like fresh, shiny, beautiful, pristine, glossy white plastic. It's plastoid, whatever it's made out of in universe. And then, you know, they're in battle and they get beaten up and dirt acquires and all the grooves and stuff. So it's obviously going to be less shiny. However, I wanted to sort of come up with a technique that does both, because to me, although it's probably not a good example, let me show you a proper matte finish. Okay, this isn't weathered at all, but this is the Boba Fett prototype, and you see that matte? That is a matte finish. Okay, there's a tiny bit of gloss there, but that's just because, you know, it's the hot spot of the light. It's specular highlights, don't you know? But anyway, do you see what I mean? That's a matte finish, totally matte. And, you know, if that was weathered, it would probably be a better example. But there's not a great deal of difference. You see what I mean? So, right, that's generally what you do. That's the sort of what I was taught. That's what I've always done. But I was like, no, I want a shiny glossy helmet that is weathered, because then it's more realistic to me. Just because it's got weather doesn't mean it's going to lose that shine unless, yeah, it's been in like war for, you know, 20 years or something. To me, it would still have the glossiness of the clone armor that we all know and love. So this is going to be a bit hard because I've only got one source of light, which is the window, which is right there. So they're going to block each other. And I'm on landscape, but okay, hopefully you can see what I mean. Can you see the reflection on the Cody on the bottom and the lack of reflection? Okay, there's a little bit, there's a tiny bit in the phase one, but can you see the difference? You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to do, and I'll show you some close-ups of him just so you can see what I'm on about. So it has absolute weathering everywhere, like super heavy weathering, dirt and grime in every nook and cranny where it would all accumulate. But it has that beautiful, shiny, glossy finish, which I think looks way more realistic. And that was my aim. I was like, look, if I've got to build a Cody, I want to make it proper dirty. And when I say dirty, I don't just mean weathered. I mean a dirty, realistic helmet. Like something that looks like it's been in war and it's real and it's straight off of the movie screen. Do you know what I mean? So I opted to do the base helmet gloss, but I did everything else matte. So there is still a sheen on here, but it's nowhere near like the gloss finish that's on the helmet. Can you see that? So all the accessories I did in a matte finish. Everything. Sun visor, the heavy head pieces, the ring, all the antennas, even the paintwork on these bits, all matte, so they're not shiny. This bit is gloss because I wanted that, but I wanted it, you know, it's because the clones customized their own helmets and armor. I wanted that to go into the, you know, to be incorporated into the realism. Cody's just been given a clean white helmet, right? So he's going to spray that on himself. He's not going to know about gloss finishes and stuff. He's just going to spray his helmet, you know what I mean? Same with this. And I wanted that dichotomy, that juxtaposition between the gloss and the matte. Sorry, I've just realised how flipping boring and geeky this conversation really is. But to me, it's quite interesting because I've never done it before, and I hope it is of interest to you. So I'll talk you through how I did it. So as I mentioned, painted all white, checked with Christy, hey man, I've got this idea, can I do that? And he went, yeah, go for it, Ash. So I was like, okay, I will. And I honestly didn't know what it would turn out like, other than having already done the ATAT and it looked alright and that, but I didn't weather that as much. I just got into the grooves and stuff, but I didn't do the whole thing like crazy. I wanted this proper dirty. He has been in battle for a number of years, but it still has the beautiful gloss. So what I did is, and I think I've shared this on my Instagram like a year ago or something. So you paint it white, okay? Then you do your gloss lacquer. I use high coat. I do 3 thin layers, leaving 10 minutes in between each, so it gets a nice even coverage and it doesn't drip. That's general rule for spraying any form of lacquer, right? Then once left that to cure overnight. Once I've done that, I went round everywhere with an airbrush, every little line, every little contour in the helmet, just where it would accumulate, right, with brown. Then immediately, and I didn't care about being careful, just, you know, it probably spread out to like here and here and here on each line, like just blob it on, mate. Then I did the exact same with black, but I did that a little bit more carefully so it didn't spread out as much, so that when I come to do the next part, you would see the differentiation, that there is black and brown in there. And you don't want it to like completely mix together. You want it to like brown to spread out underneath and then black. Okay, so that's rule number 1. Then what I do is I get a cloth and I dab a bit of isopropyl alcohol on it, and then I go around. This is immediately after spraying on, so it's like it's dry but not kinda. However, the iso alcohol really helps with this. I smudge it back in on itself towards each line, okay? So I'm wiping it off, but I'm not just going, I'm being careful with every little line to smudge it in towards itself, right? And because the base has got gloss lacquer on, that helps to protect it from the alcohol, so the alcohol doesn't melt it. It does if you use loads, but like if you've got a nice thick coat on, it's absolutely fine. So I smudge it all back in on itself, right? Do all that. Then I go over again. I do that around everywhere, and it's a real kind of lengthy meditative process because you're just in the zone, man. You know what I mean? You're not really thinking about it, but you are, but you're doing it like on instinct. And that was still too much, so I went over it again with ISO, but a bit less on it, so it's not quite as wet. And then I actually just like wipe it off, because like this was a really thick black line all the way down to here, and this one was a bit lighter, so it looked weird. So I'm like, oh, I need to even that up, and it's still too much, and I just, so I start just wiping it off, which leaves, the reason I smudge it in and then I wipe it off like that is it looks like super realistic. Like I couldn't do that pattern of weathering if I wanted to, so I do it realistically, as if it's been battered by the sand and the desert and the dirt, and then it's naturally worn off by the wind and the water and the rain, like, so it just gives a really cool effect. And my idea then is, because on the ATAT helmet it had the weathering in all these, but it had nothing, because you're smudging all the lines back on themselves, the center is kind of clean. And I was like, it looked a bit too clean, so not really realistic if it's got weather and it's clean at the same time. That doesn't make sense, does it? So my idea then was to do some black acrylic, like a black wash method, where you just slap it all over and then instantly wipe it off. However, I didn't need to, because I'd put so much brown and black everywhere that as I was smudging it back on itself, so when I say back on each line, I mean literally, I'm smudging down here, I'm smudging back up there, I'm smudging back towards here, and as I'm doing that, I'm wiping as I go, and then I go back around again, like I said, and wiped even more off to wear it down. And I don't know if you can see that, but these areas, although they're appearing bright here because it's kind of all overexposed, they're not clean. There's dirt and particles and smudges all over the helmet, in between all those bits, and it's exactly what I wanted, which is why I'm saying I think this is the best helmet I've ever made. And I wish you could see it in real life, because it's so different on camera as it is like to the eye holding it here. But mate, I absolutely love it. It's exactly how I wanted it to look. It's like obviously it's a big helmet anyway, but it's got a bit of weight to it. It feels solid. It looks solid. The weathering is like, I think it's the best weathering job I've done. I know there's other people out there that have like got all their special techniques and it looks amazing. And there's always going to be people. There's always going to be people better than you. I don't care about them. I care about my job. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm proud of it. I'm proud of myself. And I just wanted to show you. And I didn't record a build video for this because, like I said on my previous vid about YouTube videos, is I've probably filmed this one like 4 years ago, just haven't edited it or uploaded it. So I'm like, and you know, it's a pain in the ass filming and building. Sometimes I just don't want to be fiddling with the camera and setting it up and putting it on tripod and changing the angle. And I've got my, my hands are covered in craps. I'm getting it all over my camera. Sometimes you just want to build. You just want to get in the zone and build. And that's exactly what I did here for my friend Christy. So I didn't record it. I'll upload it one day and maybe I'll include this segment. But I can't show you the exact build of this, which is why I'm describing it to you. So, yeah, just give you another little twirl. What else? The camera, that is just a washer, because I hate drawing circles and painting them silver. Like, mate, it's just annoying, isn't it? So that's a washer, and I painted the center black, and then I used clear super glue for the lens. See that? What else? All these are on screw mounts, so you can see the screw there, because if you just glue them up, they just fall off after time. So I prefer them more solid. So that's on a screw mount. So is that, and so is that. And what I do is I get a nut and a bolt, and on the inside of here, on the other side, I get a soldering iron and I melt into it. And as it's still melted, I put in super glue and I press in the actual nut, so it's permanently in there. Stick the bolt through his ear and then just screw him on. I did that with that as well. That's it. Yeah. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this weird video, this weird build video with no building, but I hope you like my helmet, and I hope you know what I'm on about if you are a builder and you've done matte and gloss and weathering and all that. And hopefully it shows that it does work, and I think it's a much better finish. I think it's just way more realistic than that. Even though I like that, I love that. I love the weathering on this. This is when I first discovered the smudging technique, where you airbrush on brown and black and then smudge it back on itself with ISO, and you get, because I'm not good with an airbrush, man, or my airbrush is just crap and it's not precise at all. Sometimes it's like does what it's meant to. Most of the time it just like goes and just farts all over my helmet and ruins it, and I'm like, I can't be dealing with that much inconsistency. So, because I'm a control freak, so instead of getting angry and going crazy with it, I go with the randomness to create a much more realistic thing. But yeah, this helmet, I've just remembered, is exactly when I first discovered that kind of smudging technique. And yeah, I did that probably, I don't know, a year ago, year and a half maybe. And then I'm still doing it now. But yeah, I think it's just like way cooler. And when you see it in real life, it really does make a difference. It looks like my mate's got the Stormtrooper full cosplay and it's all vacuum formed, so it's got that shininess. And he has weathered it, but to me, this reminds me of that. It's even a similar color, because they're not pure like winter white. They're a tiny bit yellow white in universe. So that, I don't know, because iPhones are a bit blue and weird, but yeah, that's what it looks like to the eye, and I think it's awesome. So yeah, hope that's been of some help to you, and thank you very much for watching. I don't have the files for this because I'm took them down because I'm working on new ones to make it more modular and easier to build, just like the live action Clone Trooper that we released last month before. So everything's separate. The black band, the nose grill, just a much easier build because I was sick of just making clones and just hating the process. So, but yeah, we're working on the Return of the Sith version modular helmet at the moment. As soon as I've done that, I'll convert it into the Cody, because obviously we've designed all the accessories and everything. We just need to fit into the new model. But yeah, check out my shop, jedhaworkshop.co.uk, and I've announced this on my Instagram a couple of months ago, but I have not on YouTube. So I will do an official thing, but I have a massively new Patreon. I completely restructured it. Me and Jedha, I needed help because I'm like, this is just doing my head in. I don't like it. It's rubbish, and I don't feel like I'm giving enough to the community, and I also feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot at the same time. So can we restructure it? And it took me about 2 weeks to go through it all and figure out how to, reorder everything. But I came up with 4 completely new tiers, ranging from £4 a month to I think it's £32 a month, where you get one file or you get every file and commercial license to print, build, whatever you want, and early access 1 month earlier than the general public to all my new files. So check it out. That's patreon.com/Jedha Workshop. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I feel happy. And yeah, if you'd like to be a member and help me and Jedha Workshop grow and create new models, go and check it out. I think it's really good. I genuinely do. If I was a fan of someone, I'd be like, mate, that's a good Patreon. So check it out. I'm not plugging it, but obviously I'm plugging it because it's mine. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll check you out on the next video when I'm less hungover and hopefully make sense or something. Whatever. See you later. Namaste. This is the way. Peace.
Doesn't sound so bad to me.